Now, just on to another topic. Outgoing Woolworths boss Brad Banducci fronted a Senate inquiry today. He was trying to argue against suggestions of supermarket price gouging. But Green Senator Nick McKim, I'm not going to play you the comics. I'm sure you've seen it on Sky News tonight by now. But he basically threatened him with 6 months jail time because he didn't answer the question. Caleb, how hypocritical is this of a politician? If only we could threaten a politician with 6 months in prison every time they didn't answer a question.
I know. Wouldn't that be fantastic? I actually didn't realise until today, and I consider myself a reasonable student of Australian politics, that the Senate itself can actually jail someone or impose any other kind of penalty, such as a fine, if it believes someone has committed contempt against the Senate. It's an extraordinary power, and it comes from constitutional powers that emanate from the UK originally when our parliament was set up. But isn't it amazing to think that you could sit there and tell the boss of Woolworths or any other individual for that reason that they could potentially be locked up for not answering a question? There would not be a single politician left in this country if that was the standard to which they were held. But I'd love to see it. I would really love to see it. All of them get done for contempt. They all get locked up for 6 months. And I tell you what, the country would probably run smoother than it has since 1901.
Maybe we should put all Sky hosts in charge of running the country and guests for a couple of days, and then it might work. Nick Cater, speaking of shocking policy from the Albanese government, and the Environmental Protection Agency is now going to be able to issue stop work orders to anyone breaking green laws. It'll also have the power to audit businesses. Penalties for offenders will be hiked too. This all thanks to Tanya Plibersek's new environmental nature positive laws.
I'll tell you what, I wish he'd turned this nature positive law to bear on these wind turbine developments that they're going to put right up there in the Chilumban Forest, right up there in the far north of Queensland. You know, they really should.
Yeah, what did you think of these laws, Caleb, that finally were settled on today, although they have been delayed?
Oh, look, you know, it makes sense to have some kind of environmental cop on the beat. But seriously, when we're talking about the absurd amounts of money and the power to stop work immediately, it's almost like you're sending the environmental equivalent of the CFMEU to go and look after this stuff. I mean, why don't they put Greta Thunberg in charge and she can go and stop every piece of logging in this country? Because that seems to be the logical conclusion of what they're suggesting.
Nick Cater, over in the US, Donald Trump's hush money trial, the jury selection has started for it. Impossible to find an impartial jury when it comes to Donald Trump.
Well, especially in New York, I would have thought, Sharri. No, I think his chances of coming out of this with a clean record are pretty low. The question is, will it matter? Probably not. I mean, we've seen so far that every attempt to bring, by the Democrats to bring, twisted lawfare against Donald Trump has ended up only increasing his popularity. And I think this will do so again. It's a very old case. It's very, they've gone through and they've twisted it to get the best possible case against him. But I really don't think it matters in the end. I mean, do you really think the Americans are going to suddenly wake up and say, oh, I'm not going to vote for him because the Democrats have had another go at him in New York?
Especially over, these allegations, Caleb. 20 seconds, because they're pretty weak, aren't they?
Well, I mean, look, he did the horizontal foxtrot with a woman who takes her clothes off for money. They elected him knowing that last time. Does it really matter? No. It's just an attempt to get him, and they hand more power to him. It's brilliant.